Dan Willis here, and we're talking about Constar Financial Services. Are you being called by Constar Financial Services, receiving letters? Have you discovered Constar Financial is reporting a collection on your credit reports? If so, you're in the right place. Constar Financial Services is a first and third-party debt collection agency. They were founded in 2008 and are headquartered in Phoenix, Arizona. They'll service and collect upon a variety of types of consumer debt, including auto finance, utilities, banking, telecommunications, retail, student loans, and more. Our purpose here is to share how exactly to handle this intimidating experience of dealing with debt collectors, including your legal rights as a consumer, along with how to exercise these rights and protect yourself and restore your creditworthiness. The first item to note is the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, FDCPA. This is federal legislation passed with the intention of governing the debt collection industry. In other words, it's the rules. It clearly says what time of day debt collectors are allowed to call you, what they can say, who they can talk with about your debt, and much more. It's worth your detailed review at your convenience. It's also supposed to require debt collectors to provide you with that modicum of respect and dignity every human being deserves. Unfortunately, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act is violated just about as often as our drug laws. Now let's talk, does paying Constar Financial Services help your credit? For many folks, their main priority is, does paying collections help your credit? You'd think so, but as of this video at the end of 2020 and moving forward, no, it won't. You see, if all you do is pay off collections, the only thing that will happen is a change in the status of that collection on your credit reports. It'll be changed from an unpaid collection to a paid collection. This is still a negative item to have on your credit reports, and it's very likely to lower your credit score. Anthony Sprov, a spokesman for FICO, says collections on your credit report can damage and drag your credit score down by as much as 100 points. That's huge. While FICO says, and we quote, the fact that you have collections listed on your credit report will almost certainly lower your FICO score. As far as your FICO score is concerned, two things are considered. Has a collection appeared on your credit report and when it was reported? So whether or not you pay your collections off is really a personal decision, end quote. Listen, the key to raise your credit score is to remove this collection mark entirely from your credit reports, as if it never happened. And that's a very realistic goal because every year, millions of collection marks are removed from consumers' credit reports. And if you'd like some help, you can get a free credit report consultation by calling toll-free 1-844-517-7627. Now let's talk about Constar Financial and their collection methods. What can they do? Besides the constant phone calls and letters from Constar Financial, they're also going to report that collection on all three of your credit reports. If they're unable to collect payment, they have two options. First, they can sell the rights to your alleged collection debt to yet another debt collector. Now, this new debt collector will begin contacting you along with reporting a collection on all three of your credit reports. Alternatively, they can file a civil lawsuit. In other words, sue you. Their goal is to win a judgment because then they've really got you by the short and curlies. Depending on your state of residence, a judgment can potentially result in wage garnishment, liens placed against you and or your property, and even asset seizure. Please don't just ignore this issue and with the false belief it'll just disappear like a warm spot in the pool. And if you'd like to know more, we're going to include a link in the description below over to an article at our website for the full story. We also have a free report available there for you, the 7 proven ways to boost your credit score. Now, the very first step to dealing with Constar Financial is to request debt validation on our alleged collection debt. because chances are Constar Financial just showed up one day demanding payment. In other words, we didn't do any business directly with Constar Financial. When we request debt validation, we're essentially saying you first prove this is my debt and everything's legit. It's most effective to make your debt validation request in writing and send it using certified mail, as this will provide you with evidence of your communications. You see, Constar Financial is required to respond by providing you with the evidence, documents, and paperwork that does, in fact, prove this is your debt. These documents should also show you all the relevant account details, for instance, who the original lender or creditor was, your account activity, your balance, and more. If they fail to validate your account, then you're no longer legally responsible for payment. Furthermore, Constar Financial Services is supposed to contact all 3 credit bureaus to have them remove this collection from your credit report. And if you'd like some help, you can get a free credit report consultation by calling toll-free 1-844-517-7627. Now let's discuss the statute of limitations. If your account is validated, our next step is to review this paperwork in detail. We're looking for your last date of account activity because for the vast majority of types of consumer debt, you're not legally responsible for repayment forever. Generally speaking, you're only legally responsible for most types of consumer debt for about 7 years. Once this time window runs out and expires, so does your legal obligation for repayment. In other words, after about 7 years, the debt is supposed to be forgiven according to state law. This is called the Statute of Limitations, and it does vary by state, so for full details, check out your local legislation. The Statute of Limitations time window applies to virtually every type of debt, including auto deficiencies, charge-offs, utilities, retail, telecommunication, medical bills, private student loans, and many more. One of the only exceptions is federal student loans in default. Warning. Yes, a warning. It's a common strategy for less scrupulous debt collectors to re-age consumer accounts, as this enables them to continue to attempt to collect payment despite the contract no longer being legally enforceable. And if you'd like some help, you can get a free credit report consultation by calling toll-free 1-844-517-7627. Again, that's for a free credit report consultation, and the toll-free phone number is 1-844-517-7627. This is Dan Willis. We're going to include a link in the description below over to an article at our website for the full story. We also have a free report available there for you, the 7 proven ways to boost your credit score. And of course, subscribe and join our congregation, because coming up next, we're going to be talking about how to negotiate and potentially pay Constar Financial Services, and so it will help to improve your credit. So of course, subscribe and join our congregation. Have a fantastic day, and looking forward to talking to you again here soon.